music and dance.
Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Conflict in West Asia escalates. Iran launches over 200 missiles at Israel. Netanyahu vows retaliation. World leaders call for de-escalation. India expresses deep concern over the broadening tensions and issues an advisory to its nationals in Israel. Vice President debate in the United States. J.D. Vance and Tim Walz debate issues from immigration and abortion to economy and gun control. India's cleanliness drive, Swachh Bharat Mission, completes 10 years. Prime Minister led celebrations to showcase the nation's journey. International Day of Non-Violence being observed on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The President of India, Vice President and Prime Minister pay floral tributes at Rajghat. The prospect of a direct all-out war between two of the most powerful militaries in West Asia became more likely after Iran fired roughly 200 ballistic missiles at Israel, drawing strong reaction from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who said Iran made a big mistake and will pay for it. Israel's military signaled that it would retaliate, though it didn't provide details of how and when it would respond. The Pentagon said that Israel intercepted the majority of the missiles and that there was minimal damage on the ground. Washington said that it would work with longtime ally Israel to make sure that Iran faced severe consequences for Tuesday's attack. The escalation comes days after Israel killed the leader of the Iran-backed Hezbollah and sent troops into Lebanon.
Iran made a big mistake tonight, and it will pay for it. The regime in Iran does not understand our determination to defend ourselves and our determination to retaliate against our enemies. Sinwar and Deif didn't understand it. Nasrallah and Mosul didn't understand it. Apparently, there are those in Tehran who do not understand this either. They will understand. We will keep to the rule we have determined. Whoever attacks us, we attack them.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin spoke with his Israeli counterpart Yoav Gallant following Iran's attack. In a post on X, Austin said, and I quote, "The minister and I express mutual appreciation for the coordinated defense of Israel against nearly 200 ballistic missiles launched by Iran and committed to remain in close contact." Iran says that the current attack over Israel is over the and they promised a crushing response if Israel retaliated, or they've cancelled flights across the country until mid-morning Wednesday. Iran's armed forces, the chief of the staff, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, has threatened to repeat Tehran's attack against Israel and target its infrastructure. Speaking on state TV, Bagheri said that the operation would be repeated several times stronger if Israel retaliated.
If the Zionist regime that has gone crazy is not controlled by America and Europe and wants to continue these crimes or wants to do anything against our sovereignty and territorial integrity, tonight's operation will be repeated several times stronger and all their infrastructure will be targeted.
The United States is standing strongly with Tel Aviv after Tehran fired a salvo of ballistic missiles at Israel on Tuesday. The U.S. President Joe Biden has reaffirmed his country's support for Israel and described the barrage as defeated and ineffective. And he ordered the United States' military to aid Israel's defense against any future assaults.
The United States military actively supported the defense of Israel, and we're still assessing the impact. But based on what we know now, the attack appears to have been defeated and ineffective. And this is testament to Israeli military capability and U.S. military. It's also a testament to intensive planning between the United States and Israel to anticipate and defend against the brazen attack we expected. Make no mistake, the United States is fully supportive of Israel.
The U.S. Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris called Iran a dangerous and destabilizing force in the Middle East.
I condemn this attack unequivocally. I'm clear-eyed. Iran is a destabilizing, dangerous force in the Middle East, and today's attack on Israel only further demonstrates that fact.
The U.S. called on every nation in the world to join it in condemning Iran's attack on Israel.
Israel, with direct assistance from the United States and its partners, was able to successfully defeat this attack. This was a brazen, unacceptable attack by Iran, and every nation in the world must join us in condemning it.
The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that Britain stands with Israel after Iran launched a wave of missiles in retaliation for Israel's incursion into Lebanon.
I utterly condemn this attempt by the Iranian regime to harm innocent Israelis. We stand with Israel and we recognise her right to self-defence in the face of this aggression. Iran must stop these attacks, together with its proxies like Hezbollah. Iran has menaced the Middle East for far too long.
Meanwhile, in a phone call with the U.S. President Joe Biden, Japan's new Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said that the missile attacks by Iran on Israel were unacceptable, and he warned against an escalation into a full-blown war. And French President Emmanuel Macron also said that he strongly condemned these attacks, and he said also that it's in a sign of its commitment to Israel's security that France has mobilized its military resources in the Middle East on Wednesday. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres appealed on Tuesday for an immediate ceasefire in Lebanon and for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of that country to be respected. Before this incident, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, in an interview in Washington, D.C., had expressed deep concern about the broadening conflicts in West Asia and anything that happens between Iran and Israel.
We are very much concerned at the possibility of a broadening of the conflict, not just what happened in Lebanon, but also, I referred earlier to the Houthis and the Red Sea. And, to some extent, anything that happens between Iran and Israel. So, again, it's one thing to be concerned. I'm sure you can say that for a lot of countries. If, as part of that concern, you can end up doing something about it, again, don't underestimate the importance of communication in difficult times. If there are things to be said and passed on and passed back, I think those are all contributions that we can make, and we do.
In view of the prevailing situation in West Asia, the Indian Embassy in Tel Aviv has advised the Indian nationals in Israel to stay vigilant and to adhere to safety protocols as advised by local authorities. The embassy has requested them to exercise caution, avoid unnecessary travel within the country, and to stay close to safety shelters. The embassy issued a 24/7 helpline to contact in case of emergencies. The U.S. vice presidential candidates Tim Walz and J.D. Vance debated each other in New York, with the pair clashing on the topics of West Asia, the conflict there, immigration, taxes, climate change and energy. In almost 100 minutes of debate, between the two adversaries. The first question was related to the ongoing conflict in West Asia, to which Waltz argued that the former President Trump is too unstable to be trusted at a time of a crisis. The Republican opponent for the country's number 2 office, J.D. Vance, responded by asserting that Trump had made the world more secure during his tenure in office. And Vance questioned Harris's intention to address inflation, immigration, and the economy while serving in Joe Biden's administration. And Waltz, in fact, spoke also of the issue of immigration, attacking Trump for pressuring Republicans in Congress to abandon a bipartisan border security bill earlier this year. Well, with no more debates planned, the standoff, in fact, allowed Waltz and Vance to make their arguments, final arguments in a sense, on behalf of their campaigns, just as early voting ramps up across the country. The U.S. presidential elections, the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump was campaigning in Wisconsin on Tuesday. Trump promised to bring peace into the world if he wins the November 5 presidential election. Trump also slammed his opponent, the Democratic candidate Kamala Harris, and he said that if she gets 4 years, the world goes into smoke, goes up in smoke. And Trump did not make any announcements regarding policy proposals, but rather highlighted plans previously outlined.
We'll have peace in the world again. I guarantee we will have peace in the world again. And if Kamala gets 4 more, unthinkable, right? If she gets 4 more years, the world goes up in smoke. This world will go up in smoke. If Kamala Harris gets 4 more years, instead of a golden age, America will be condemned to a fate of decline, desperation, and despair. That's where we are right now. Your family finances will be permanently destroyed. Your borders will be gone forever. Tens of millions more illegal aliens will invade our cities and towns.
Well, Claudia Sheinbaum made history, being sworn in as Mexico's first woman president. Sheinbaum was inaugurated at a ceremony in Mexico's Congress for a 6-year term lasting until 2030. Sheinbaum took the oath of office and received the presidential sash in a boisterous ceremony which marks the start of a 6-year term. Sheinbaum used her first speech as head of state to address investor concerns after the passing of a judicial reforms bill pushed by her predecessor Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Sheinbaum vowed to ensure that Mexico's economy remains a secure destination for international investment. She reiterated the central bank would be autonomous and that a reasonable debt to GDP ratio would be maintained. Sheinbaum's government will present its first budget before November 15. Let's move on then to our next story. We're going to take a short break now. Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on TV. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken in Washington, D.C. During that meeting, both leaders discussed ways to work together to address regional and global challenges. And during the meeting, Blinken also reaffirmed.
Let me begin by thanking you for a great meeting between the Prime Minister and the President in Delaware, for a very, very good Quad meeting. I think it gave us an opportunity to take stock of the many areas where that mechanism has progressed. And I look forward to my discussions today. I think on the bilateral side, there's a lot that we've done since our last meeting, but there are global issues to discuss.
And during the meeting, Blinken reaffirmed that the warmth and ambition in the India-US relationship are at an unprecedented level.
India plays on the global stage, working for peace, working for stability. It's a good opportunity for us to take stock of the many issues that we're working together.
India is paying homage to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 155th birth anniversary today. A series of functions are being organized across the country and by the Indian missions abroad. The day also observes the International Day of Nonviolence worldwide. Designated by the United Nations in 2007, this day serves as a reminder of the immense power of nonviolence and its potential to resolve conflicts, uphold justice, and create lasting peace. The President of India, Draupadi Murmu, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they paid floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi on the occasion of his birth anniversary at Rajghat in the national capital on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi also paid floral tributes to the father of the nation at Rajghat. The nation is also remembering the former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri on his 120th birth anniversary today. President Murmu, Vice President and Prime Minister Modi, along with other dignitaries, paid floral tributes at the Lal Bahadur Shastri Memorial, his Samadhi Vijay Ghat in New Delhi. India's cleanliness drive, Swachh Bharat Mission, completes 10 years today. Initiated in 2014 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the mission is one of the most significant mass movements for cleanliness. Marking the completion of 10 years of the launch of Swachh Bharat Mission, Prime Minister Modi is going to lay the foundation stone for several projects related to sanitation and cleanliness, and these are worth more than 9,600 crore rupees. And these include projects aimed at enhancing urban water and sewage systems under what's called Amrut and Amrut 2.0. 10 projects focused on improving water quality and waste management in the Ganga Basin areas under the National Mission for Clean Ganga, and 15 compressed biogas plants. They are also under the scheme. And taking a lead in India's cleanliness drive, Swachh Bharat Mission completes 10 years today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took part in a cleanliness drive with young boys and girls. The Prime Minister also urged all of them to take up cleanliness-related activities. India's Health Minister and Bharatiya Janata Party President J.P. Nadda, along with other BJP leaders, participated in a cleanliness drive in the national capital, and this marks 10 years of the Swachh Bharat Mission. But Akshay Dongre is following that story and he joins us now. Akshay, the Swachh Bharat Mission, in fact, it became a mass movement, as we know. So what were the key achievements over the last 10 years?
Well, Mark, cleanliness is next to godliness is a quote that was given by the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. His principles that are known as Gandhian principles are in fact a guiding light for even the Constitution of India. When we talk about the directive principles of state policy that are part of the Constitution of our country, cleanliness and hygiene is one of the most important part that Mahatma Gandhi in fact advocated. His fight against leprosy, his fight against a lot of other social stigmas had the root of they all had a root in unhygienic conditions for people, especially for a country like India, after being ruled by the British for several years. The country's sanitation drive was almost nil. When we talk about hygiene, when we talk about other things, they were always looked upon by the British government that was ruling the country, and perhaps that also led to not just diseases like cholera and other communicable diseases, but it also was responsible for deaths of hundreds of thousands of people during the British Raj and earlier times as well. Mahatma Gandhi realized that he in fact sent out this message that cleanliness is extremely important for a good society, for a hygienic society, for a healthy society. And when it seemed that the Gandhian principles are being forgotten with the passing time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as soon as he came to power 10 years back, he once again revived this very key Gandhian principle, that was cleanliness. It has saved hundreds of thousands of lives in the span of 10 years because of hygienic conditions that are being provided at schools for women, a sanitation drive that has become a mass movement, the toilets that have been built across the country, especially in the rural areas, that have prevented many diseases from spreading, many diseases from reaching rural areas, urban areas. So
yes, Akshay.
There are several key achievements as far as this movement is concerned.
Yes, also Akshay, to what extent has it helped in creating a sustainable circular economy with the whole business of recycling?
Well, that has in fact also been one of the key achievements as far as the spreading of awareness is concerned, of reducing, reusing and recycling. That has not just helped the economy, but has also helped the environment. India being the largest country now when it comes to the population, it also naturally produces a lot of recyclable garbage, and that is what has been focused by the government of India to ensure that the environment is not impacted. President Narendra Modi has also focused on climate and has focused on environment as well, and that is why there have been several awards that were also given to Prime Minister as far as his drive to eliminate polythenes and plastics are concerned. Now, it's also directly impacting the economy. If less people fall sick, then you have a more population that is healthy, that is employable, that is not overburdening the healthcare infrastructure of the country, and that is directly impacting the economy once again. So this sanitation drive, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan that has been launched, not only it has directly saved lives by preventing communicable diseases and by providing safety to the people, it has also had a ripple effect as far as the growth of the country is concerned, that has enabled India to be one of the fastest growing economy in the world.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Akshay Dongre, for joining us and giving us those inputs. Moving on then, the Indian Embassy in Riyadh has taken a big step towards a cleaner and more environmentally friendly India by joining the nationwide Swachhta Hi Seva campaign, the 2-week campaign running from September 17 to October 2. It saw the active involvement of embassy officials, staff and members of the Indian community as well in Saudi Arabia. And the campaign kicked off with the Ek Paid Maa Ke Naam, or One Tree for a Mother. It became a movement which in fact resulted in the planting of over 1,500 saplings. Community engagement was a key focus of this initiative. The embassy conducted door-to-door awareness campaigns to spread the message of cleanliness and hygiene. That's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, we'll get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available in both Android and iOS. You can scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Mark Lynn from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.